What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Zido here. So today we're talking about a class pad that has been generating a ton of buzz in the enthusiast community. The reason this piece is so polarizing is that it's a limited edition release with a striking aesthetic, clearly drawing inspiration from the likes of Wallhack and Glsswrks, but it comes from ATK, a Chinese brand famous for cloning top-tier gear and offering similar performance at a much lower price point. Now let's roll the intro and see if this slap of class is worth your desk space. First, let's talk about the packaging. To be honest, it's nothing glamorous. The pad arrived double boxed in standard brown cardboard. Unlike premium brands like Glsswrks or Wallhack that use fancy magnetic closure boxes, ATK kept it extremely basic with a standard flip-top lid. It feels a bit strange for a limited edition product with such high-end visuals to have such a no-frills presentation. Inside, you do get a limited collector's card, which is a nice touch, though the finish isn't quite as refined as what you find with Abyss Gaming. They also threw in a microfiber cloth that is, no joke, microscopically thin. It's a bit of a mixed bag of limited vibes and budget execution. Right, now moving to the base, the entire underside is covered in a honeycomb pattern rubber, while the material itself isn't revolutionary and lacks a high concept design. It functions perfectly. The density of the rubber is excellent, ensuring the pad stays absolute anchor to the desk. It provides a consistent, flat foundation that doesn't budge even during intense sessions. Now let's address the part I like the least, the edges. ATK markets this as having a 2.5D chamfered CNC precision grind. Well, in the nerdy world of class pads, this usually implies a smooth, rounded taper that disappears under your arm for maximum comfort, similar to what we see on Wallhack or Abyss Gaming. However, the reality is disappointing. While there is a slight bevel, it isn't nearly as pronounced or as smooth as the competition, because the pad is quite chunky, measuring around 3.7mm total, including the base. This minimal chamfering fails to alleviate the pressure. Well, in short, it still bites into your arm. It feels like they did the bare minimum just to check the box on the spec sheet. Size-wise, it's a standard XL size for 490 by 420 millimeters, which is the baseline for most shooters nowadays. No surprises here. The class lab itself is 3.5mm thick before adding the rubber base. It's a bit of a shame that ATK couldn't replicate the newer thin class technologies emerging in 2026. It feels a bit dated in terms of pure hardware profile. Now, the artwork is the main reason I bought this. According to ATK and some of the people in the community, this is a hand-drawn by an artist, not AI generated. The design is stunning, featuring a sharp contrast between hot and cold tones. However, the 3.5mm thickness of the glass works against it, because the light has to travel through such a thick layer. The image underneath looks a bit blurry or out of focus. It doesn't have that ink-on-surface clarity. Well, despite that, the overall aesthetic is still top tier and will definitely elevate any setup. Now, the most important part, the surface. I'm sorry to report that this is strictly a control surface, and trust me, it's not that buttery smooth control you get from a Wallhack C or 005. It just feels like a standard middle-of-the-road glass control surface that you can get, anywhere on the Chinese market like AliExpress or Taobao. The value here is that it costs 1/4 the price of a Wallhack If you have the budget, it makes for a beautiful collector's piece or a high-end keyboard mat for your left-hand setup. I've been manning it for a week in Valorant now, and because it leans toward control, I actually had some pretty decent games. Sadly, my Nvidia Shadowplay is now broken, yes, again, so I couldn't capture any of the highlights for the video. Standard luck for me, I guess. Alright, so for last, I think with $40, the collector value is really solid. You get a beautiful limited run piece to welcome the new year, and if you treat this as a collector's item first and a performance tool second, I think you'll be happy enough. If you're looking for the ultimate ergonomic class experience, this might not be it. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Next time, I'll be reviewing this Fourier Sayo. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but I'll be covering the Sayo and also a much more banger classwork Zane. That's right, Zane has come to me finally. And if I have more time and budget, I obviously gonna do more of, you know, Chinese pad, because I cannot lie, Zane is barely hold on to its position right now if we're talking about speed wise. Sayo is pretty much so close to Zane, but has the function of the beast. I'm sorry, the Phantom by Tekusai. Now, that's crazy, but I heard there are so many pads out there that is even faster than Sayo. Sayo, I don't know. But that's it for today. Stay hydrated, keep your aim steady, hit the bell, hit the subscribe, like the video, comment, and that's it. Zido's out. Peace.